Good morning. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you see me? Hi, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Crowdfunding. Please say hello in the chat if you can. If you are on the website and you can't see me, you need to refresh, but that is not a useful thing for me to say because you wouldn't be able to see me. So please say hi. I'd love to know what you're up to and how I can help. Um, Yay! All right. Well, tell me where you are at with your project. And let's see, I could stop screen sharing. I got a haircut. That's my news. That's not all my news. Let's see. I think what I have been sharing about is my fundraiser. Um, oh, it had just broke 11,000, which is awesome. Share my screen with my fundraiser. This is the thing that I've been working on, trying to raise money, and I ended up, I tried to do a little bit of press for this if you've been paying attention. Ended up getting one podcast appearance and one newspaper placement, but most of the money is coming from our email list and Twitter and making an image for all of our collaborators that has all their names on it. This is a really important thing. If you are promoting a project and you want everybody involved in the project to share about it, I think it's really important to have a shareable way for them to do that. That is really easy. So like an image that involves of like a picture of them with the logo for the project and a tweet that's like, I'm so excited to have Rob Still playing on this album. And that way Rob Still can share it instead of just having Rob Still involved and not saying anything about it. Um, that is it's better than getting people involved and not making it easy for them to share their involvement, which is something that a lot of people do. And then they're like, "But I got all these people involved. Why am I not getting the advantage of all of their audiences?" And the answer is because their audiences don't know they're involved. Because if you just retweet, like, if everybody involved just retweeted this picture, their audience wouldn't know at that quick pop of a glance that they are involved. Now, I would say normally on a project, I would have individual pictures of each of those people, um, of each person involved and make an image. But this one I had 58 people, so I just made this image with everybody's names. It's not the most ideal, but also I'm tired, so that's okay. Yay, I've been doing a little bit of updates. I probably could be doing more, but to be honest, I kind of wanted this project to be like a 1 week long fundraiser, and I wanted to raise $5,000, and I raised 10. So I'm feeling good about it. There's a lot of other stuff that needs to happen in the world, so I'm kind of calling it a day on this one, but I feel good about it. What are you working on and what is your current status? Please, Fiona, Jane, Rob, and Molly. This is a primarily Q&A based presentation these days. Why those dimensions is at least likely to be cropped by socials. Okay, so yes, for this one, I think this is a Twitter thing. This is a Twitter dimension thing. So I use Canva to do anything these days. This particular one I think I actually made just because it works in this. But once I make something in canva.com, I go ahead and I'll resize it for a Facebook post, an Instagram post, and a Twitter post. Twitter post. I guess this must already be a Twitter post size. And that way, and it's really easy then to just kind of, to make those images into the right size. I often will find myself like getting real fancy with it and redoing everything to make it the right angles. I actually think I have done that for these already, but the I think it is always worth it to resize stuff. I mean, if you have the time for different socials and rearrange it, just because people aren't always going to click on the image. People are lazy, and if you get into the habit of it being like your job to make things easy to look at as opposed to being being their job to like find out about it, then you get more views on it. I think it's a good habit to get into. I'm not going to do that one right now for an example because it takes forever, but I might like make these larger and add more names or something like that to the bottom. Yeah, but yeah, Canva's great because it does all this for you and you don't have to like do the thing in Photoshop where you remember all the dimensions and that kind of stuff. But I think I can show you like some previous projects that I've done. Oh yeah, see? Yeah, so here's our like Dragon Con schedule that I made. Twitter version, an Instagram version, a Facebook version, an Instagram story version, an Instagram post version. This one is for our website. So on our website, we have a little slider at the top where all of our latest news happens. And so I'll make a little square version of our most recent information and put it there. So yeah, that's a better example. Okay. Oh yeah. And here's another example of what I was talking about before is how to feature individual collaborators when you have collaborators so that they have something to post about and that their fans know that they're involved. So I did that with this Nerds and Music show. All of our guests, I made them a little picture so that they could all tell their audiences about it. Okay, I am starting to see some questions. So, hey, that's this. And here's my cat. Okay. So currently working on building an audience. We'll eventually do Patreon, so any advice to get my brain going? What are you doing right now to build your audience? Oh my God, I wasn't even sharing that. I'm so sorry. I talked about that whole time without sharing it. Oh my God. Let me do that whole thing again. I'm so sorry. I'm so funny. I'm really sorry, everybody. Okay. Let me show you the thing I was just talking about. Here are all the different sizes of stuff in a Canva. Canva allows you to I need to drink more coffee. And then I showed you this thing. Making images for collaborators. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Feel free to tell me that I'm tired and doing things wrong. Okay. Um, Currently working on building an audience. Oh, yep, sorry. Making vlogs, learning how to film, edit, schedule. No, that's great. Um, I think pieces of advice that I have for you at this moment would be don't worry about the audience, worry about um, making stuff right now. Like your main goal right now should be those great skills that you're working on, Fiona Jane, of learning to film, edit, and schedule, like figuring out what kind of content you enjoy making and making regularly. Um, so that when you are actually doing it, you can yeah, you know, so that when you get down the line and it becomes something that you do all the time, um yeah, you know how to do it and you can do it faster. Um, you know, like it can take 6 months to build a regular audience of people who like the thing that you want to do. And every time you make something, it's going to get better. And every time you make something, you're going to learn something about the process, um, either technically or creatively. You're just going to keep getting better, especially if you focus on the creative process instead of um, trying to chase the audience. So, I think right now, if the goal is building the audience, then yeah, the creation of content is a very good place to be, and kind of think about it as like you are in free, well, relatively free, but um, you're in a school, a cheap school where you are developing all these skills and you don't have to pay people to film things for you or edit things for you and like all of these things that you would normally be paying thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Like you're doing this all yourself and you're saving a ton of money and a ton of time by doing it yourself. Um, and it's really going to pay off because your audience will be there along the way. Your engaged email list will be watching you grow. And for them, it's going much faster than it's going for you. Um, and they'll see you get better and better at it, and that's really awesome. So I think you are in a great place. Rob, I'm in the making things for the internet stage. Live streaming 4 times a week on my Facebook page. Have an engaged, a very small group that shows up. How to grow audience. Um, Rob, I was looking at your views, and it did look like you have slightly large, I mean, people watching afterwards. Let's see. Let's find Rob Still's Facebook. And Fiona Jane, if you want to send me any links to what you're doing, I'd be happy to look at them. Yeah, because these have like 606 views. I mean, maybe not so many people like watching live, but that's still a lot of views. I mean, yeah, it might be slightly inflated because it's Facebook, but that's pretty great. Like if you were in a room playing for that many people, I would imagine you'd be happy. Okay, let's take a look. Yay! That's so cute. I love that. Just worshiping. 8 a.m. Central. Boy, that's early. I love it. Okay. So in terms of audience building, um, have you looked into the I don't know if you have you gotten to the create the collaboration and community section of the course, Rob? About, finding different folks that you can collaborate with or finding different communities that you can try to be a member of. Um, I feel like you're pretty well situated to give um, things that you're already doing um, to folks. So that might be a fun thing that you can do. Um, do some brainstorming in the collaboration unit. Um, Maybe mixing it up a little bit with a like making a trailer for what you do. Uh, Making a music video that people can watch at any time that starts immediately. Um, so that would just be like a video that is, 4 minutes long that immediately pops into something really interesting, like you singing or you saying something inspiring. Um, and then, some clips of the worship and some clips of interaction and that kind of stuff. Um, and that could be a really great thing to put at the top of your page, as well as maybe even like a small Facebook ad, a thing to share so people know what you're doing. And then at the end, it'd be like every, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday here on Facebook. Um, cool. Yeah, working on the reminding people maybe every other week about the live streams on an email. Trying to maybe come up with some stories that you can tell on email. Oh, you're probably already doing email because you're a Cheryl person, but um, experimenting with different days and times of days to send out an email and let people know, by the way, tomorrow morning or in 10 minutes, I'm about to start live streaming and see if that's a way to engage people because you have the audience, they just may not be tuning in. And maybe even just ask, like, um, are you interested? Is there a reason you're not tuning in? That kind of thing. Because there may be, that might just be information for you. Let's see what you're saying. Trailer ads probably a very good idea. Yeah. Yeah. And guests, I would say, yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, do the collaboration unit of the class. Because there are a lot of different ways that you can collaborate. Some of it is inviting guests. Some of it is making videos with guests. Um, some of it, yeah, is finding communities. I mean, I'm sure there are tons of communities for folks who would be interested in the stuff you're doing. And figuring out how to not just go in and just promote yourself, but go in and, drop a song in there or ask people. Molly has a very, very good point of taking requests. is a great idea. That might be an amazing email, like an email that's just like, what's your favorite song as a subject, or and then just say like, I want to sing you a song and tell me, and I'll play it tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Central. Come on to the thing. Like, yeah, taking requests is great, but promoting that beforehand to get people to the event, I think is what Molly's trying to say, which is great. It's a very good idea. Um, I mean, I think you're doing a great job by doing the thing every day. That's awesome. Do it because you love it. Like, if you're not enjoying it anymore, don't do it. But if you, I think it's so delightful. But yeah, I think a trailer would be a really good thing to promote for this, like a quick trailer, even either a music video that's like 4 minutes or a trailer that's 30 seconds or something like that, that you script and you write, is delightful. Delightful. I can never find the replays of this call. Fiona, scroll down on the page you are on right now. And there is a playlist. I will add the last few calls to it at the end of this one. That should be the best place to find them. Hymns and Spyrite comments is so delightful. Yeah, boosting the posts, especially when it's very clear what people are getting into, I think is a really good idea. And then a very clear call to action. Maybe like sign up or something like that. Yeah. To get an email that reminds people to show up. Yay, thanks, Rob. Okay, Molly, what are you working on? How are you doing? Literally making breakfast. Okay. You're doing great, is what you're doing. I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee. And a bite of my biscuit. Let me know if there's anything else I can help with today. I have been really enjoying doing these chats with y'all. I have some ideas of different things I could talk about in the future, including like when doing your own like DIY fundraiser is a good idea. Like instead of going on Kickstarter. I had this conversation with a client yesterday where her audience is older and they aren't necessarily tech savvy enough. I think that the Kickstarter platform is just going to create too many hurdles, like that many clicks and that much learning is going to be too much. It's going to weed off a lot of people. So I suggested to her that she create like a one-page website for the fundraiser that literally just has like one button on it that is a very clear, like, you are supporting me and you get this one thing. I think that that is a very good way to do it. If you have like an audience that is maybe in the $100 per thing range, like she has a country club audience basically, that is a good idea. It's a lot more like a house concert kind of thing, but we're not doing house concerts right now, obviously. So I could talk more about that sometime. Okay, Jen. Awesome, Jen. Have you done the promotion units in the Kickstarter class? Have you built your schedule based on those units? Because I think that is, not to brag, an incredibly good and helpful tool. Let's look at it together. Yes, a lot of the updates can be about the contributors. That's a great idea. Let me see. Let me share this. Updates about your collaborators are great. Let's see. Campaign updates, I think you should definitely have one the day after you launch. You have one the night of your launch, the one the day after you launch, and another later that week, and then at least one update every following week. And then I think that can I open this here too? Yay! The other things you can do with your updates, Jen. Sharing the videos of your songs that you've already written. Featuring individual rewards. I mean, you basically just need to make a list of like 10 different stories. Like maybe the story behind how you wrote one of the songs, if any of them have a interesting story behind them. I definitely recommend coming up with this before you launch though, because once you launch, Brain is just Brain is bad. Okay. Couple non sequitur. Baking at the house. I love baking. I mean, share a recipe. Like literally just share a recipe. Baking up the album, but we also want to just share a recipe of baking. I mean, that's totally fine. And awesome. And also keep in mind the updates do not have to be long. They can be one photo and 2 paragraphs of content. Like 250 words, something like that. Just don't have them always be a stretch goal update. Keep in mind that most people who are reading the updates are people who have already backed the project, although not 100% of the time. But everybody who's backed the project is going to get an email, so don't make it just be, please back the project, because those people have already backed the project. And the other really useful thing about the updates is that you can post about them on socials so that you can use that as a new way to post. Also, just a quick reminder to everybody, whenever you post anything on the internet, you should always, okay, I will do that. That's great. Do make sure that it looks good. So let me show you. If I take this update and I post it on Facebook, the preview for it, which is populating, it looks the same as everything else that I post on Facebook. And I don't love it. So I would recommend taking this preview away and adding a photo that is specific to this update. I would just go through and find, like, I don't know what I have pictures of on my computer, but, you know, put a different picture in with this update that apparently crashed. Okay. Also, so that it is an attractive post. So don't just drop the link and go away. Like, make sure the post is attractive, add a photo. And also make friends with the Facebook link debugger. Boop. This is gonna look at any link you post and make sure and show you what the post will look like when you post it on Facebook. And you can be like, okay, I like this picture. Oh, I don't like this picture, so I'll add a different picture. The thing that you can do the same for Twitter, Twitter card validator. And that'll show you what that link is going to look like. Yeah, see, that's ugly. So I would add a different picture. Okay. All right, another question. My project is on historic women. What gifts or rewards do you suggest? Oh boy, that's a big question. But I like it. I mean, the gifts or rewards would more depend on your audience than on the topic of what you're doing. I would say keep your rewards as sleek as possible and try to yeah, I mean, I don't know. Such a big question. It's an album. Get really, really good art. Get art that's amazing. Um, don't just hire a friend. Hire somebody who is really good at art that makes something that people will like, regardless of um, how big of a of you they are. And then put it on a tote bag or an enamel pin, or if it's for kids, maybe look into making something toy-like, but make sure that your profit margin is still 80% or more. Do you have advice about how to leverage a Spotify single release with pre-crowdfunding campaign? My first single releases Thursday. Oh, that's great. Email is my main answer. Email? Email people? I mean, Spotify isn't a huge ask because you're not asking people to spend anything. At this point, you can probably be having a pre-save campaign on Spotify. Um, I would just Google Spotify pre-save. I know that there's a lot of different groups that allow you to do this kind of pre-save thing if you're doing Spotify, if you're doing CD Baby. They have a built-in thing. And that way people will already have it in their inbox and such, or in their playlists. So I would do that and email people, because and then also just email people about it, and then email people about it when you're launching your crowdfund. Oh yeah, can you talk about timing about when to launch the campaign, re-elections and holidays? Yes, I would say don't put a big surprise date in the middle of your campaign. So if you can avoid having like the election happen in the middle of your campaign, or at least like I wouldn't launch like 4 days before the election or 2 days before the election, because you just don't know what's going to happen. Holidays, if you are going to be launching during the holidays, there are good and bad parts about that. One is that people do tend to be spending during the holidays, but also money is tight right now and people are low on money. So either way is fine, but you can try to be creative and take advantage of that. Like a lot of people have, like, you can print out this certificate and give it as a gift. Like you have a great You have a gift coming that is this album, and that's like part of their Christmas gift or whatever. So that's a cool way to use the holidays to your advantage, or give people like a little image or a holiday picture, or have one of your rewards even be like, I'll sing you a holiday song. Just make sure that you can gather people's information in time to deliver that. That's totally fine and great. Um, uh, Other things with the end of the year, if you're getting your money by the end of the year, keep in mind that you're going to have to, unless you are very smart and have an accountant that can help you defer taxes, you're going to have to pay taxes on the money that you receive for the calendar year that you receive them. So try to spend all the money so you can write it off in that calendar year. Like, so if you get all your money in 2020, and then you just to go ahead and pay for your CDs, pay your collaborators, and so on, so that you don't have like a chunk of $20,000 that you have to pay taxes on that you haven't spent. Um, that's another thing about timing. Um, Pick a nice, memorable date to launch and tell everybody, like, we're launching December 1st. And, remind them for 2 weeks ahead of time. That's another good thing to remember. Launch early in the day. Like the best launch you can do, launch the first week of your campaign is going to be the best week, and then the last week of your campaign. So you want to make the first week long. So you should launch Monday or Tuesday, or maybe early Wednesday. You should launch early in the day so that there's lots of day um, to do it for. Launch when people are looking at their computers, which is generally during business hours. Unless you have been telling your audience that it's happening and everybody's really ready to be there. Um, with you when you launch it and everybody's got the clicks ready. Um, uh, and then when you end the campaign, you want it to be maybe like a Thursday afternoon so that there's that whole week. Your campaign doesn't need to be 30 days long. It can be as short as 21 days, I would say, recommendation, because your first and your last weeks are going to be the most, uh, like I said, the biggest weeks, and the weeks in the middle are going to be pretty much dead. So don't really, having it longer isn't really going to make you a lot of money, except that you might want to have your campaign go over a payday. That's the one thing you might want to have, like the end/beginning of the month in the middle of your campaign, so that people get paid. Um, that's all my information on when to launch your campaign. I hope that is helpful. Um, Rewards. Create shows. Fiona Jane. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, Jen's idea about jewelry is not a bad idea if it's something that has wide appeal. Suffragettes. Yeah, I love that. I mean, I think an enamel pin might be a very smart move for you, to be honest. Um, Reminder about the Kickstarter pre-launch page to everybody. This is like a new tool that Kickstarter has that is awesome, where once you've created your page, you can have a pre-launch page, so where everybody can press notify me and they'll get an email when your project launches. Very good idea if you're not keeping your page a secret. Just to go ahead and have that email, again, is the best. So If you have like a Facebook event for your page about to launch, um, go ahead and do this pre-launch. Very good stuff. You can share a pre-launch page until your page is approved. Yes. Oh, like if you can't launch it yet because you haven't submitted it for review. Yeah. And again, like submit your page for review as early as humanly possible because the review process is mostly nominal. It doesn't take that long. It's but it can take long, and you don't need to have the project completely done. It doesn't. You can change your project. That's what I'm trying to say. You can change the project after you've submitted it for review. Can't what? You can change the project after you've submitted it for review, but you can't launch the project until it's been reviewed. So get your page made, get rewards up there, get your goal up there, get a title, and just go ahead and submit it for review, and then you can change pretty much anything. Yeah, you can change anything once you've submitted it for review. You can't change once you launch, you can't change your goal, your deadline, or your rewards. And once the project ends, you can't change anything. But yeah, just submit your page for review as early as humanly possible. I think that is in my timeline, like 4 weeks ahead of time. Can't share the preview page until it's been reviewed. Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Submit your page for review really early. I think that is in my timeline. I hope. Yeah, because there's really no reason not to. Go ahead and just get that going. Yeah. All right. Well, I love you all. I am gonna go. But you are wonderful, and I will be back here next week. I'll go ahead and throw this video on the playlist, which you can always find here at coffee.crowdfunding.com if you scroll down the page. And coffee.lasercampaigns.com. And you're wonderful. Let me know if I can help you with anything. You know my email. Okay.